You are ready to complete your first mortgage application, or you have not completed a mortgage application in a long time and things have changed. I'm going to tell you exactly what 6 documents you need to complete your application like a pro, and what my clients have done in the past that you should never do. Let's get right into it. Almost all mortgage applications are electronic, so most of you will be completing your mortgage application online. So I highly recommend, pro tip number 1, that you create a folder on your computer so you can begin putting all of the documents in that folder so you can access them very easily and find them as you need it. Because a lot of times you may be asked for another document again or to access it, or maybe you forgot to upload it originally. You want all of those documents in one place. Let's get into the 6 documents that you're likely to need. Number 1 are your pay stubs. Lenders want to know your income, and one of the best ways to verify your income is through your check stubs. But I know what you're thinking. I get direct deposits. I haven't even seen my check stubs in I don't know how long. Well, you probably, if you don't know where your check stubs are or how to access them, I guarantee that you still do have one. You have a check stub. You have to contact your human resources department to find out how can you access a copy of your pay stubs. And they'll probably want at least 30 days of pay stubs. And then later in your mortgage transaction, they'll probably ask you for updated pay stubs. And if you have more than one job, you need the pay stubs from each and every employer. So it's very important that you know how to access them. Now, here's a pro tip. A lot of my clients try to give screenshots, like from their cell phone, of the pay stubs or those mortgage documents, or even just showing like their check stub with their direct deposit is. Those will not be accepted. They typically want a PDF of your check stub. So make sure you know how to access those, because those screenshots will not work. And you want to do this a lot earlier than you're going to begin your application, because if there's a little time delay in getting that information, you won't be delayed in applying for your mortgage. So definitely find out how to access them and then go ahead and start sliding those pay stubs into your folder. If you get any additional income, such as child support, alimony, a pension, retirement accounts, or Social Security, you want to make sure that you document that income as well. You want to go to whatever the income source is to find the official paperwork for that income. So it could be a divorce decree, it could be your retirement statement, your Social Security statement. You'll want to get those and either download them as a PDF or scan them into PDF documents. And another pro tip, have your agent help you. If you do not have a scan or access to those types of things, most real estate offices do have those items, so they can actually help you by scanning all of your documents and emailing them to you or saving them for you on a flash drive. So then you can upload them as part of your application. Number 2, in your application, they're going to want your W-2s for the last 2 years, because they want to see how much you're making year to year. Has your income increased? Has it decreased? They're going to want your W-2 forms. And you may be saying again, I don't know where my W-2 is. I haven't filed my taxes in a long time. But they're going to be wherever you filed your taxes, because when you filed your taxes, you probably gave your tax preparer, if you didn't do them yourselves, a W-2. So now you have to go back not 1 year, but 2 years and access those W-2 forms. If you cannot access them easily on your own, you can contact your tax preparer to try to get a copy from them, because they likely have it on file. Or the IRS does have tax transcripts, and that could be a last resort for you not being able to access your W-2 forms. Again, you're going to need this from every employer that you work for or that you've worked for in the last 2 years. Now, clients in the past have had some success in the IRS transcripts, or it just took them a little bit longer. That's why you shouldn't wait. You should organize yourself first before you just go ahead and apply for your mortgage. Number 3, they're going to ask for access to your credit report from all 3 bureaus. Now, this is not a document that you give them, but on the application, they will ask for your social security number. And this will be for all applicants. And if I didn't say that, for every applicant that's applying for this mortgage, they're going to want all of this information from everyone. So you will supply your social security number and you'll give them permission to check your credit. Most lenders will use the middle score. So you have 3 credit scores. You have one with Equifax, one with Experian, and the other one is with TransUnion. So let's do an example. If your Equifax is 675 and your Experian is 700, and your TransUnion is 730, they will eliminate the lowest, the Equifax. They will eliminate the highest, the TransUnion, and they will use the 700, the Experian, your middle score for qualification. So just be mindful of that. They will pull all 3, but likely they're only going to use one for qualification purposes. You will also need bank statements, typically at least 2 months worth of bank statements. Now, you get your bank statements from your bank's website. They usually have where you can see your account. They'll have an option for you to download your bank statements. And it's pretty easy. It'll download typically into a PDF. So you'll want to download your last 2 bank statements or 60 days. My clients often ask me, well, I have a lot of accounts. I have a savings account, a checking account. I have a lot of different accounts at different banks. My answer is typically give them as much as you need to qualify. So if you know that you're using your money from your checking account and your savings account in order to qualify for this mortgage, or that's where your income goes, your direct deposit, or that's where you're saving your down payment and money for your closing costs, then you need to supply those accounts. But if you have some other accounts that you may also be accessing money from, then you need to supply those bank accounts as well. And again, if you have retirement accounts or that sort of thing, you want to be able to supply those as needed. So just be prepared to show your bank statements for at least 60 days from all applicants. Number 5 is rental history. These are typically just questions like where do you live and how long have you lived there and how much rent do you pay? And those are pretty easy to answer. They will at some point before you close on your home, they will actually call and verify or ask for more documentation from your landlord or from your leasing office about your rental history. But as far as the application is concerned, they'll ask you some questions about your rental history. But don't worry, if you still live with family or live at home with your parents and you've never rented before, you can still get a mortgage. But they will be asking you those questions. So just answer them truthfully. If you live at home, put that address and say you live at home, you pay rent or you don't pay rent. If you do live where you pay rent, then answer those questions as well. Number 6, they're going to ask for a photo ID. Now, this is just to verify that the person applying is the person that is on the application, and they could verify that with a copy of your photo ID. So this is all very simple. So it's not as complicated as many people may think. My last piece of pro advice is to be truthful on your application. If you want to be a pro, be truthful. And I say that because a lot of people don't realize that everything that you put on your application is verified, typically in underwriting. And sometimes that's not done until a little bit further when you're actually under contract on your house. So I've had clients who gave old check stubs and they didn't work at the job anymore. So they want to make sure you update your application. If your income changes, if your job changes, if anything changes, or if you're kind of, scared or afraid to put certain things on the application, thinking that you may not qualify, talk to your lender and just get some advice ahead of time. But make sure you're truthful on the application because that's what they use to qualify you. And if anything changes, you may not qualify when it's time for your approval or for you to close on your home. I hope this was helpful. Please put any questions or comments in this video about your mortgage application because I want to make sure that you're doing your application like a pro.